ESPN 95.3. It's a Thursday, and you know what that means. It's time for one of our favorite segments here where we get an opportunity to talk to the youth of the community. We get a chance to know them on the playing fields, whatever it may be, whatever sport they may play. We get to know them a little bit more off the field as well. And last week, we had Eli Robinson, and he was terrific. Tennessee Nitro, all of that. 11U, really good guest and a great athlete. And you know what? His sister said, you know what? If Eli was that good, I know I can be better. So joining us right now in studio is his sister, Sadie Robinson, here on the Future Stars of Tomorrow segment. Sadie, welcome in. How are you tonight? Glad to have you. And I fully think you will be better than your brother for sure. For sure.
We'll see.
All right, so you play soccer for Heritage Middle and Nomads as well?
Nomad Soccer Club, yes.
Okay, Nomad Soccer Club. That's good. You play a couple of different positions. We'll get into that. You also run track, or cross-country, I should say.
Yes.
Yep, cross-country. So you're 14 years old. Where did your love of sports and running, I mean, you might maybe not love running, but love of sports come from?
Well, my family's always really been a sports family. My family loves baseball and all that kind of thing. So I actually grew up playing softball for quite a few years. I was pretty good at it, and I stopped when COVID started because I got out of practice. And that's where I started playing soccer after we started moving and everything. Mm-hmm. They had a good soccer club and everything. So
you had never played soccer before then?
I did when I was like a toddler.
Oh, okay.
That's it, though. It was like a year or two. I don't know.
Barely able to kick the ball around and whatnot.
Yeah.
All right. So you were into softball, and then you said, "No, I don't really want to do that anymore." Had you been feeling that way before COVID? Like, I'm not sure if I love this sport. Maybe I want to try something else, or what was it?
Well, it's kind of hard to think about. I think I was, but the thing is, I was pretty good at it. Like, I wasn't really struggling with anything, so I think it was easier to like it more, because there wasn't anything stressing me out about it. But I think there was a little bit that was telling me, hey, this isn't what you need to be doing right now. Mm-hmm. So I think I think that's where it started.
Nice. Okay. So, yeah, you do play soccer. And from just talking to you off the air, before we jumped on the mics here, I could just tell that you were not too keen on running. So
No.
I assume that soccer is more of your favorite than cross country.
Yeah, it really is. I do like to be going all the time. Like, softball was more of a stay still sport. Soccer, obviously, you're doing things while running, but cross country is just focusing on the running, focusing on your breathing, and trying to not be slow. It kind of stressed me out sometimes because that's all you were focusing on, and so
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I never ran cross country like I told you guys off the air, but it is something my dad always wanted me to do, and it is a good skill to have, and to be able to pace yourself and breathe and not get too tired while you're, especially when you're playing a sport like soccer where there's just so much cardio and there is a lot of running involved, but it is some start, sprint, stop. Then you're walking, depending upon where you're playing, or like we'll get to, you do play keeper for one of your teams, so there's not a lot of running involved in that whatsoever. So when it comes to soccer, what is your favorite thing about it? What do you love about it?
Well, it's like I said a second ago, I like soccer because it's going all the time, and there's a lot of technicality involved in the sport, and you really have to know your skills and everything.
You're just always, you're constantly moving, and you're doing a lot of different things. And the one thing that I really like about soccer is that, maybe it's the one thing I really couldn't get. I used to play soccer when I was younger, but the one thing I always struggled with, a lot of times you have to go backwards to go forwards. You're kicking the ball backwards, and I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Like football, you don't really ever do that. Basketball, you're always kind of going towards the rim. Baseball, there's really, not any of that sort of aspect to it. But, it is a fast-paced sport in a lot of ways, and it is quick moments. Like something, like nothing could be happening, and then all of a sudden, it takes one cross. Or it takes one person to miss an assignment or get juked, and then boom, all of a sudden, boy, we got a breakaway one-on-one with the goalie and whatnot. Again, Sadie Robinson is our guest here, 14 years old, soccer for Heritage and for the Nomad Soccer Club. And you play a couple of different positions for each team that you play for. Explain the positions you play Usually you don't see that. Usually you see if somebody plays, all right, I'm going to play strictly striker, I do that for both of my teams. Or if I play strictly keeper, I'm doing that for both of my teams. And you play two different positions for different teams. Why?
Right. Okay. So I started playing for my school before I started playing for Nomads. And at that point, I was only a striker for all the teams that I were on. I was on a different soccer club at that point. And the reason I played striker is because it's like the difference between cross country and soccer is I'm a better sprinter than I am a jogger, you know? And so the reason I started playing goalie for Nomads is because I really didn't feel like striker was my position that I would feel most comfortable in. So, and we needed goalies for our team. So I started playing goalie for Nomads, and I really just felt like that was where I was most comfortable and where I would just work the best. But I'm going to continue playing striker for HMS because, I still like it. I really do like it. And I really just feel like we have an amazing goalie. She does wonderful at her job. And with a couple people leaving last year because they went to high school, we're going to need the strikers that we can get, especially if we're not going to get good sixth graders. So, yeah, that's really just why I'm doing both of those. And
it keeps you well-rounded, and that's always something that, as a coach, I've told to my baseball players, be able to play a lot of different positions, be able to be flexible, adjustable, and, say a striker goes down and you're playing keeper. Okay, if we need somebody to go play keeper, I can play keeper, or, whatever it may be, or if the keeper gets injured and they need somebody to do it. I really wanted to ask you about playing keeper because like I said, I played soccer and I like to play keeper as well. I wasn't really good with my feet. I was better with my hands than my feet. That's why I played first base in baseball. That in infield because you deal a lot with your hands there. But why were you attracted to playing keeper? Why do you like playing keeper? What is it about keeper that you like? Because a lot of the people that I've talked to that play soccer or football, some will say, is they don't like keeper. They like, I want to be running around. I want to score goals. I want to stop people from scoring goals, whatever it may be. Why keeper for you?
Well, it kind of depends on what mood I'm in, but one of the main reasons is because it gives me a break from running all the time, especially with cross country and everything. So yeah, it's a fun position to play where it's so much different than any other position I feel like it is on the soccer field. Yeah. Like, you're literally the only person that can touch the ball with their hands. So it is a fun, different position to play on the soccer field. What number do you wear? Do you have two different numbers for two different teams? Well, for my school team, I'm number 3. And I'm actually two numbers for my Nomads team. If I'm not playing goalie, I'll be 35, I think it is. And then when I'm playing goalie, my goalie jerseys have 12 on them, so I'll have to, tell the refs that I'm a different number and everything. Gotcha. Why those numbers? Any specific reason why you picked those numbers? I didn't pick any of them, actually. They were given to me. Well, your brother picked number 45, thinking his dad was 45 years old, but not 45 years old, 35 years old. And so I thought maybe the number 35 was his actual age. Well, yeah. Yeah, those were just given to me. So. Again, Sadie Robinson is our future star of tomorrow here up on ESP at 95.3. Do you enjoy watching soccer? Like, I know we just had the Men's World Cup not too long ago. The women are coming up this summer. Do you enjoy watching those? Do you have an MLS team, a European team? Do you enjoy watching any soccer? I've actually gotten a lot more into watching soccer recently, the past couple months, especially with the World Cup. When I started playing with clubs and everything, I really didn't like watching soccer on TV because I didn't think it was as exciting as in person. I still don't, but I've grown to like it more. And I started watching the World Cup, and I thought that it was just more exciting than I used to think it was. I like to watch the Atlanta soccer team and obviously the USA team. But other than that, there's not really any others that I watch specifically. The Atlanta Football Club is actually coming here to Chattanooga to face CFC, I think January 28th. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so you have to go check those out. All right, so let's shift gears from soccer and let's go to cross country. Okay. I know it may not be your favorite thing in the world, but how did you get into it? If it's not your favorite, why do you do it? Well, I did start when I was in 6th grade, and I really just needed something to get into in middle school so that I could make friends and everything because we had just moved into a new area. So I started that, and at the time, I really liked running, like a ton. And I quickly learned that I didn't like it that much. So,
what about it made you not enjoy it? Was just the distance that you had to run?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And like I said a minute ago, I'm a much better sprinter than I am a long distance runner, and I think I just didn't realize the difference between that when I started. So,
what about track and field? That's more of sprinting and relays and things like that.
I've thought about doing track, and I've done track conditioning before the track season started. The only issue with that is that soccer season is at the same time as track, and we have soccer practice every single day.
See, it's interesting because I dated a girl in college who was on the soccer team, and she also did track, and soccer was in the fall, and then track was in the spring.
Right.
So we in college, I guess it was a little different where I was in upstate New York, but when it comes to other sports that you might be trying or doing, you mentioned another one to me off the air. What other sport might you be getting into here soon?
Okay, so when I go to high school, I am probably going to be getting into color guard because most of my cousins have done color guard, and that really just sparked an interest to me. So I've wanted to do that since I was really young. Now I'm finally getting to try out for it, and I'm confident that I'm going to be able to do that well. So, what
about color guard makes you want to do it other than your cousins are doing it? Is there any specific aspect when it comes to color guard that you are really looking forward to?
Well, just watching the halftime performances at football games and everything, I just think it's such a beautiful performance every time any color guard does it. And I really just want to be a part of that and get to show people the beauty of it.
Very nice. Again, Sadie Robinson is our guest here on our Future Stars of Tomorrow segment. Let's go outside of sports. What are some things that you enjoy doing outside of sports?
Well, I'm in the chorus and drama parts of my school, and
so very well rounded. Just like singing and acting and things like that. How good of a singer are you? Is it just like as part of a group? Do you like singing on your own from time to time? I'm not going to ask you to sing here, trust me. I'm not going to do that to you. But do you enjoy doing it sort of on your own, or do you like just being a part of a group in the whole chorus setting?
Right now I prefer doing it with people, but there are times when I have to do it on my own, like in musicals and everything.
Yeah.
So I think I just need to grow into being confident in my voice and everything. I have been told that I have a good voice, so I feel like I wouldn't say that I have a bad one, but just listening to myself, it's not easy.
Yeah, no, it is. It is difficult. I was listening to a podcast recently, and it's about like a 90s television show that I was into when I was growing up that I still enjoy to watch time to time, going back and watching it. And it's the actors that were on the show doing this podcast. They're going back and they're rewatching it. They had one of the main characters on the show that was on there for a couple of seasons, and he said he's like, I'm terrified of going back and watching myself. He's like, I never watch myself. So that kind of reminded me, you just don't like to hear yourself sing.
Right.
You got to get more confident in that, and that'll come as you grow. And I heard you are a pretty darn good actor. You won Female Actor of the Year last year for your grade.
For my grade, yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
I did.
So what about acting and drama and things like that attracted you to wanting to act or be in musicals or things like that?
Well, it was the same thing as cross country, really. I just wanted to be a part of something that got me, friends and everything. And I was going to be in Aladdin in 5th grade, but COVID canceled that. So I wanted to have a chance to be in a show. And I really just think that the whole community with drama and everything got me into it because there's such nice people that get involved in that kind of thing. And you don't have to be yourself when you're doing that kind of thing. You get to be any kind of person that you want to be. And so I just think having the flexibility with that and everything is really nice.
That is awesome. So. I've never been in a drama club or anything along those lines. I've never been in a play or a musical or anything like that. But I was a background actor on a major movie one time,
really?
and
Wow.
That was pretty cool. It was Ocean's 8. Have you ever heard of that one?
I haven't heard of that.
You haven't?
No.
They have like a bunch of series. Mom and Dad, have you guys heard of the Ocean's movies? Yeah. So the Ocean's 8 one is like the all-female cast version of this movie sequel that they have. It's pretty cool. You can see me for like 4 seconds, so it's pretty sweet that I got an opportunity to do that. But like Sandra Bullock was the main character in that, or the main actress in that. Anne Hathaway was in it. Rihanna was in it.
Oh,
so
really? Wow.
yeah, it was a pretty cool cast to kind of be a part of that, even in the background side of things. Again, Sadie Robinson is our guest here on the Future Stars of Tomorrow segment, and I also heard that you like to read.
I do.
So what is your favorite? Do you have a favorite book? Not that I would probably know it because I haven't really been a big reader here lately since I've moved away from New York City. But do you have a favorite book or one that you're into now?
I don't think I have a favorite book. It's really hard to choose that kind of thing.
It's like asking somebody what their favorite movie is. Like There's so many movies.
Right. But a book that I'm really into right now is called A House of Earth and Blood. It's a fantasy. It has a ton of mythical creatures and everything, tons of adventure. The author is Sarah J. Maas. She has amazing fantasy books. She started writing when she was 16. She has, a ton of fantasy books. They're all amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's just a really good author. And that book particularly, I haven't finished it yet, but so far it's amazing.
Okay, very good. What is your favorite subject in school?
So this kind of changes from time to time, specifically because of my teachers.
Yeah, well, that'll happen.
Yeah, I think my overall favorite subject, no matter what, is history.
What about history do you like?
I don't know. I really just like learning about how...
Didn't you say you liked history too, Eli?
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, I thought that was you that said you liked history.
Yeah. But I really just like learning about how, it progresses through time and how people learn from mistakes and... just everything that happens over the course of time. It's just really interesting to me.
Yeah, where we've come from and how we've evolved as a society and as a person and people and whatnot. So it is a lot of fun to kind of go back and relive those things. Again, Sadie Robinson, our guest here, 14 years old, here in our Future Stars of Tomorrow of Heritage Middle School. All right, what do you want to be when you grow up? You're in so many different things. You're doing sports, you're doing drama, singing, you like to read. I don't know if you like to write at all. You like history. Do you have any idea what you would like to do or be when you grow up a little bit more, obviously, and get into more of the working world as an adult?
I have an idea of what I want to do. I don't know exactly.
It doesn't have to be the end-all, be-all, but what is the idea? If you don't mind sharing it, you don't have to if you don't want to.
Oh, no, it's fine. I have an idea that I might want to be a writer, even though writing does stress me out a little bit. But other than that, maybe I don't think I want to be a professional soccer player. I just don't think that's going to be a lifelong thing of mine. But, possibly, acting and drama and all that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to writing, is it more of writing... what kind of writing? Like writing plays, writing movies, writing TV shows, writing books, writing poetry? Like, is there a specific type of writing that you think you might be?
There's really not a specific kind.
Okay.
Like, I've thought about going into writing plays and everything because, the two things are combined.
Yeah.
And, writing stories and that kind of thing. So there's really not a limit to it.
Very nice. All right, so my last question, your brother, I don't know if he told you this, that I always like to ask here at the end of the segments are, if you could have just one meal in your life, you just got one last meal, what would it be and why?
Spaghetti.
That's it? Just spaghetti?
That's it.
No meatballs?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Spaghetti and garlic bread.
Okay. You get the garlic bread in there. That's not too bad. Yep. Sadie Robinson, again, has been our guest here. 14 years old, soccer player for Heritage Middle School, and then, of course, the Nomads Soccer Club. You can see her in musicals, singing in chorus, reading a lot of books, writing, loves history. You're just a very well-rounded person already at 4 years old. So I do appreciate you being here and sharing your story with us here on the radio.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.